After Paul Thomas Anderson made the unexpected film Punch Drunk Love, he changed his style up even more with There Will Be Blood, a film that brings together three of the most highly creative people of their crafts. We have Paul Thomas Anderson directing, writing and producing, Daniel Day-Lewis in the leading role, and Jonny Greenwood, who is the guitarist of the experimental rock band Radiohead, doing the score. The main thing that is carried over from Punch Drunk Love is the focus being on a singular character. But a big departure is how he doesn't use anyone from his regular cast. The character is Daniel Plainview, played by Daniel Day-Lewis, and the film really is a strong character piece on him, exploring the extent of greed within him. Daniel Day-Lewis, as always, steals the show. Plainview takes his mining company on the road in search of oil. He takes his son HW with him, whose mother supposedly died in childbirth. A young man called Paul Sunday, played by Paul Dano, tells Plainview that he believes that there is oil underneath his father's land and that he wants payment for this information. Plainview takes him up on this offer and buys the land at a low cost. Paul's brother Eli, also played by Dano, is not too pleased at his father's action, believing that he was foolish and should have held out for more money. Eli is a preacher who wanted to spend that money on upgrading his church. A bitter rivalry between them begins, a battle essentially between oil and religion, both of them tactically playing off the manipulation of the public. Plainview uses the promise of wealth to get them on his side, and Eli uses God as his leverage. Plainview also uses his boy HW to paint the image of being a really great family man, and that this is a family-run business. This reminded me very much of Stanley and Magnolia, as a child is being used here purely for personal financial gain. The two realise that they kind of need each other, as in general people are always searching for faith and wealth. But the lust for wealth, control, pride, land, and power over the people boils deep inside Plainview and Eli, and drives them to succeed in this battle. Plainview is very secretive in his intentions. At one point the boy is endangered and Plainview rushes to save him, and you're left to wonder what HW was to him. Someone he actually cared for? Or the fear of losing the image of being a family man? You're also left to wonder if Paul really existed, or if it was just Eli approaching Plainview in need of money for his church. Plainview's supposed brother shows up at one point, and this is maybe the closest we get to seeing the real Plainview that isn't just another act. It is also where we get a glimpse of his own history too, which he seems to hide from everyone. The ending is kind of hit or miss for a lot of people. I personally quite liked it. I think it's a really punchy ending. This is probably Paul Thomas Anderson's most mature work. He's really grown up since his humble beginnings making shorts, and this is a huge stylistic change from his previous features. Daniel Day-Lewis is brilliant at playing this highly unlikable but incredibly interesting character. As the film progresses, his character is really losing his mind and his grip on humanity. Paul Dano is also really amazing as his character, really putting himself into the role of such a passionate preacher. He gets really stirred up in a number of parts, most notably when he's doing one of his sermons. He's just this kind of slimy, creepy guy. But something that really matches these really strong performances is the score by Radiohead's experimental guitarist Jonny Greenwood. It's almost like another character, as he really gives us a unique score. A lot of it sounds really disturbing, mechanical and unnatural. It really starts brewing away and it really draws you in and makes you really thoroughly engaged in the story. In fact, the first 15 or so minutes doesn't have any dialogue. It's purely driven by the visuals and that intense score that makes you think that danger lurks in every frame. Well, that's about all I have to say. At this moment, I am eagerly waiting for the master. I hope Paul Thomas Anderson keeps his usual high standard. I'm sure he will. So, as always, thanks for listening.